Well, from the Styrian countryside in Austria, we head to the northeast of the United States, just around the suburbs of New York, as Watkins Glen hosts round two of season 6 of the Clark St. James Tanso Racing Group GT3 season. My name's Alex Goldschmidt. Joining me in the booth tonight will be, as always, Mr. James Parfitt, as this fantastic, nearly 3.5 mile, 13 turn circuit is going to provide an absolute sports car spectacular. Looking back at what we had last time out at the opening round at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, Luis Martinez took first blood in the pro category, taking the first win of the season. Also took with it the first pole position of the sixth season. And he's only 3 points ahead of Peter Duke from DC Motorsport. HB Racing's Harry Hartley-Price rounds out your top 3 in the pro category. But Jarrett Love was the one to strike first in the AM class, as he's 3 points ahead of Connor Pink, with Mark Wesley rounding out your top 3. This circuit really needs no introduction. If you are an IMSA WeatherTech sports car fan, you'll know it is the famed home of the 6 hours of the Glen. And with it, JP, we're back under qualifying with 6 minutes and 42 seconds to go. Luis Martinez, the Spaniard, once again striking the top of the timesheets.
Yeah, I like how you said he went out on 1 last week. I think dominated by 15 seconds would be the way of putting it for Luis Martinez. He literally, ran away with it at the Red Bull Ring. But it was great racing, and I think that's the thing that we've got to look forward to. We've got more great racing coming up from here as well. Watkins always delivers great racing. What they do have to be careful of is to make sure they can get through the chicane at the top, the bus stop or the boot, whichever way you want to call it, and make sure they can get through there, because it's going to be very difficult indeed. But I think these guys are experienced enough. Everybody's driven this, right? I'd be very surprised if anybody hasn't. And everybody's driven this circuit, and I think that they all can just basically cruise and go around with it. There isn't a chance of rain. It's dry. It's 20 degrees at the moment. Cloudy, as you can see on your screen. But I think, there's a lot still to play for.
Yeah, next week we'll be heading to the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve in Portimao for the halfway point of the season. Then we head to Mugello on the 14th of April. Road America sees the penultimate stop on the tour, and that will be the last of the 45-minute races that we will have here for Tanso Racing Group. Clark St. James GT3 Season 6, because on the 28th of April, we go to the place where legends are born, the Circuit de la Sarthe, the Le Mans 24-hour layout, and then it's 90 minutes. Plus also, Le Mans can also bring that good old chance of rain. But meantime, it's nice and clear. Good conditions for racing, as you alluded to just a second ago, JP. Luis Martinez leading by 66 thousandths ahead of the number 66 Acura of Wayne Douglas. Scott Brown and Harry Hartley-Price round out the top 4 overall. What a run so far from Scotland's Jared Love in the number 10 Mustang. He's P5, only 6 tenths off of our pole sitter.
Yeah, I'm not surprised we've got a Mustang up there. There's probably the circuit suits this car. Reason being, it's quite fast flowing. There's no real sudden sort of stop almost that the Mustang don't like. And you saw it there get 4 wheels off the ground, and I think this should basically favour this car in hindsight to it. We've got lots of other manufacturers as well. The Ferrari Martinez out in front. We've got the Acura, McLaren's here, Hartley-Price in the Porsche, Jared Love, as we've seen, in the Mustang, and my most favourite one is Baz Katting in the Corvette. Look at that.
Oh, that's a beauty with that metallic sort of deep teal blue with the purple front bumper, front splitter. He's even got it on the rear diffuser. That is just classy.
Looks absolutely stunning. But along with that, of course, we've got the McLaren out on track as well with Connor Pink. So, lots of different things. It's quite interesting actually as well, because when we went on board with Baz Cutting, it's quite bright. around the front side of the circuit, and then Connor Pink around the backside. It looks quite gloomy and dark at the moment as well. So
it looks like Beetlejuice 2 all of a sudden, doesn't it? With the colour schemes, very dark and cringy, and you could be scared out of your underpants quicker than you can say the word jump.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you go sort of off the other side, and it's quite bright. But then again, there has been issues with colours and stuff on iRacing after the update, so I'm hoping that's not the case, and it is just gloomy in general, to be honest with you.
Have to give a shout out to Christopher Haynes running the Rexy livery in the 97 car. He's currently running P18 overall, but more to the point, that is going to be P8 in the AM classification for those that have just joined us for their first taste of Clark St James Tanso Racing Group GT3 action. Pros are indicated by the yellow moniker around their positions on the timing tower on the left-hand side, and the light blue, they are the AMs. And more to the point, well, it's any driver that is under 1500 I rating that will be an AM, and anyone above 1500 I rating will be a pro. So we are coming down to the last couple of minutes here in time qualifying. No improvements from Wayne Douglas at the moment. I mean, he's probably now going to be coming across the line to complete his 6th lap in qualifying. Martinez has been improving in Sector 2 and Sector 5. Cuttings now decided to pull the Corvette into the pit lane. We got TM Walters in the 67 Porsche, second in AM, 12th overall. He's done a 1 minute 45.016. But you can just see that Christopher Haynes in Rexy just keeping out of the way of faster traffic, and now will start to go for his last attempt of a qualifying lap here at Watkins Glen. And has been around since the 1960s, has evolved many a time over that duration. But still, with the elevation changes going through the 90 at turn 1, through the S's, and then up the hill to the back straightaway, JP, we do know that is probably the biggest troublesome area before you go into the bus stop or the inner loop.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing with this circuit, is everybody kind of knows it. They should all know it as well. TM, as we've got him, is called Tim, basically. He messaged me earlier on. It's Tim. So there you go, Tim. What was it? Tim Waters, and number 43. It just comes on his livery, but he is in fact number 67. So keep an eye out for that one. But Mr. Tim Walters is in that 67 machine.
Okay, so there is the number 98 car coming through shot. That's Harry Hartley Price on his way into the inner loop. And, well, sausage curves aren't really prevalent here, but the curbings are. And you can just see how he just literally he glided through that section as someone else has just found the barrier going through the outer loop and has hit the barriers as we've got to check it out for the session. That was Mateusz Szmolny, the driver from Poland in the number 26, who requested that we change his flag from the European side of things. And you asked me, well, where's he from? And I was like thinking, that's got to be Poland.
Yeah.
Looked on the IR Racing League manager for Tanso Racing Group, and there it was, bright as day. Yep, Polish flag. So, Mateus, we've obliged with you on that one. But Wayne Douglas has gone quicker by 85 thousandths of a second, and it looks like the Acura NSX GT3, the number 66, has put it on provisional pole position at the moment. Martinez is about 70% of the way through the lap. So there is an opportunity. He has done a personal best in sector number 3. Checkered flag is out. The first one to cross the line, that was Andy White, the number 1 car. Goes up to P8 on his final shout there. And here is Luis Martinez, the Spaniard in the XPD Ferrari 293. Oh, that's a big old off track. That lap won't count, and he aborts the lap and straight away goes into pit road. So Wayne Douglas has brought Acura its first pole position of the Clark St James Tanso Racing Group GT3 Season 6.
Yeah, stunning run from Wayne Douglas there to get in front of Louis Martinez. The question is Can he stay in front of Louis Martinez? That's going to be the question.
That's the $64,000 question we need answered here at Watkins Glen International. And more to the point, that is going to put a Acura Ferrari front row. Then it's McLaren and Acura row 2. And all Porsche doing Porsche things row 3. And all Stang row 4 with Jarrett Love and Andy White both qualifying in the top 8. Baz Cutting and Matej Smolny rounding out the top 10 for Corvette and Porsche. So a nice mix of manufacturers. All drivers, all 23, have qualified for this 45-minute race. Of course, it's 45 points for a win, 42 for second, 40 for third. Now, as James alluded to in the first round of the championship, last time out at the Red Bull Ring, points are given for each category. So if you win in Pro, you get 45 points. You win in AM, you get 45 points. But, well, JP, we're nearly ready to get going, aren't we, buddy?
We are. The grid has just popped on. There you go.
Thank you very much. So, round 2 of the Clark St. James GT3 Season 6 here at the Watkins Glen Boot Variation has the following grid. Wayne Douglas becomes the second different pole sitter. He'll line up against current championship leader in pros, Louis Martinez. Scott Brown and Peter Duke line up on row 2. Harry Hartley-Price and Craig Corish, row 3. It's an all Mustang row 4 with Jarrett Love leading AMS in 7th ahead of the number 1 of Andy White. Baz Cutting and Matej Smolny round out your top 10. Tim Reed and Tim Walters round out row number 6. Connor Pink and Joseph Lopez round out row 7 with Dave Collier, Gareth Newton, Phil Giles and Mike Walters rounding out your top 18. Completing the top 20, it's the 2 Porsches, the 97 of Christopher Haynes and the number 5 of Adrian Hadfield. Sean Clark in the number 68 Pro Porsche starts all the way down in 21st as the HB Racing driver, and he'll be starting ahead of Mark Wesley and Christopher Radmore, who complete your grid for this race. 45 minutes on the timer. And what's more, the Porsche pace car is ready to let them go. Once we have Craig Corish, Baz Cutting and Phil Giles jumping on to the grid, it will be a 2x2 Noah's Ark style rolling start. And rolling starts, we love them, don't we, James?
Yes, we do love them as well. Sorry, I was dealing with Louis Martinez's request. Unfortunately, he's given me the request right as we're live. So, thank you, Louis, for that one. So I'm trying to just quickly deal with that in the process, Alex. Give me 2 seconds.
No problem at all. No problem at all. So just waiting for Phil Giles to rock up. So the lights have gone on, and very shortly they will be released by the Porsche pace car. 45 minutes, and Phil Giles will start from pit road, I'm afraid, as the GT3 cars, all 22 of them that are on the field, will start rolling their way. And it's going to be starting from the just after the heel, I believe. And then it's going to be the next couple of corners that will then see who will get the whole shot here. Douglas versus Martinez on the front row of the grid, with Douglas on pole position. Pole will be on the right hand side of the circuit, and once the Porsche pace car peels into pit lane, we'll be ready to get steady and go racing here for round 2 out of 6. And already Douglas uses the pit lane to get a perfect exit out of the final corner. Red lights on the gantry. And now we're green, underway here at Watkins Glen. Great start there by Wayne Douglas. Martinez, Brown, Duke, Hartley-Price and Corish round out your top 6. Dave Collier's got past Joseph Lopez. Connor Pink has got past Tim Walters for P2 in AM in the early stages. Phil Giles has emerged from the pit lane, but that was perfectly done. Textbook there by Wayne Douglas to use the pit lane entry to help carry that momentum through the last corner to get the jump on Louis Martinez on the start there.
Oh, he didn't hang around, did he? He literally jumped straight out at the beginning. He literally got him into the last corner, got them stacked up, and then ran like a scolded dog. And that is exactly what Douglas has done. The problem is for Douglas is they went straight up through the S's on that back stretch, and literally Martinez just went, thanks very much, come to me, puppy, with the draft, and I'll bring you straight in. And that's exactly what he done now. Douglas has opened up about 8 temps. It's now down to 3 temps going in through toe and on the boot run down into hill. So at the moment, Martinez keeping pace with Douglas here.
Yeah, and it's getting a little bit feisty just behind Peter Duke, having to try and keep Harry Hartley-Price at bay in the HB Racing number 98 Porsche. Craig Corish ahead of Jarrett Love, the current AM class leader, as we go through into the final couple of corners. So into turn 12 here, the 90 left, sweeping left-hander with a little bit of camber down to the left-hand side, and then it's a cross, and then sweep the car round to the right here out of turn number 13. Put the pedal to the metal, try and be as close to the wall as you dare. But biggest gap at the moment is between Tim Reed and Connor Pink, which is over a second. Fastest lap of the race, no surprise, is by the race leader. Wade Douglas has now got nearly a 1/6 of a second advantage over Louis Martinez. Harry Hartley-Price now trying to really get up close and personal to Peter Duke in the number 177 Acura. And you can see flames spitting from the rear twin tailpipes on the NSX as Harry Hartley-Price, he's got to be very, very careful. He decides to lift off a little bit as they all start to bump over the curbs through the inner loop and then go down the hill through the cambered right-hander at outer loop, and then it's down into the chute. And this is a lovely bit of the circuit as well. I really like this bit that you get some real good slipstreaming. And look at Hartley-Price, he's all over the rear diffuser of Peter Duke like a bad rash on a Sunday afternoon. He's really going for it.
Yeah, Hartley-Price is putting Duke under all sorts of pressure at the moment. You can see all the way through. Connor Pink's under pressure from Collier. They're below about 3 temps here. And we will flick down. You've got Haynes and Clark not too far apart either, but lots of action still taking place going down into the hill at the moment. Martinez is gapped to Douglas, back out to about 6 temps, so he's got some climbing to do. And at the moment it's Scott Brown with Duke, Hartley-Price, Corish and Love tucked in. Love, of course, leading the AMs in that big gruffing Mustang that he is doing so well in at the moment.
Yeah, looks like Scott Brown could become the proverbial cork in the bottle very, very shortly, the way things are going. Because Peter Duke is going to have to start upping his pace. Peter Duke the last time around was actually slower than Scott Brown because he's got Harry Hartley-Price right all over him as they come across the line into T1 once again at the 90. And it's a very deceptive right-hand turn 1 here as well. You know, you go down the dip, it's camber to the right-hand side, and you've got more camber here. So can Harry Hartley-Price get more slipstream? He's about a 1/10.5 as they come up through the S's. This might be the opportunity that Harry Hartley-Price needs. He's a 1/10 behind, but that's not going to be close enough going into the inner loop. But it's all down to just keeping the pressure on Peter Duke and putting him into an unforced error, I think.
Yeah, he was too far back. It seems to be he's got to be within that 2.5 temps, 2 temps range, because at the moment Duke's pulling obviously draft from Brown in front. So unfortunately for Duke, he's, you know, well, Sute, fortunately for Duke, he's staying with Brown, which is allowing Hartley-Price to stay with him. But unfortunately, Hartley-Price just cannot get the overtake done at the moment, and he's going to have to keep trying to fight at the moment because he's got Jared Love, Craig Corish in behind him. We've got another Mustang of Andy White closing in. Baz Cutting in the vet is also bringing it in with Matteo Smolny in the Porsche. So lots of people could end up getting involved in this battle if they can't do something about Seth Brown, and the only thing they can really do about him is try and overtake him. But at the moment, none of them behind have got the pace to do so.
No, I mean, that's the thing when you've got a car that's got a twin-turbo 4-litre V8 that's mid-mounted, and the McLaren known as the, affectionately known as the torque monster. It's got a lot of rear-end traction, good traction as well, good torque, and you can see that he's already stretching a gap over Peter Duke to the tune of about half a second. But the problem is that because Douglas and Martinez are they've got away, they have bolted. They're nearly 3 seconds up the road within the first 5.5 minutes. So Scott Brown is now thinking, okay, I've got to do what I can in this car for the next 39 and a bit minutes. I've got to keep that Acura at bay. I've got to keep that Porsche at bay. I have to say that Jared Love looks really, really racy in that Stang. Even though he's 7th, even though he's leading the AMs, he may, with the pace that he has, I mean, he's running a... Last lap was a 1:44.8. He was slightly quicker than Craig Corish. Right, we've got a drama for Joseph Lopez, the number 55 McLaren. He's in pit lane, I'm afraid. So what could this be for? Let's have a look at the replay here. Onto the curbing, and it's going to be a left-hander coming up. Oh, he just over-rotates. Oh, he's flat-spotted those tyres, or does he get... Oh, he gets T-boned. That was Chris Haynes.
Wow, that's a... it's going to be an interesting deciphered situation because there's... you've gone around the corner and you've not once held your brakes.
Oh, no, he was rolling forward. Yeah, that's... I have to say it's going to be Dennis Joseph on that one, I'm afraid. And that's a shame because Chris Haynes had already made up one spot, but now he's got pretty much no front bumper on that Porsche.
Yep.
And also, one of the big things about the Porsches, folks, is that the Porsche 911s, the 992s, where do they have their radiator, their intercooler, and the radiator pipes? On the front of the car, and that's not going to help Chris Haynes any IoT. There you go. There's Rexy without his teeth. He's going to have to take a trip to the dentist very soon, but Chris is going to keep on plodding away. Might help the aero a little bit on that car. You know, make it a bit more make it less aerodynamic, but more akin to having a bit more top speed.
Yeah, and it's going to definitely keep it cool anyway. The air rushing through there. You can see at the moment Schmolny's going, oh, bro, don't do it. You're now offline. It's going to jeopardize your exit coming out the other side there, unfortunately for Mateus. If you're not going to make an overtake going into the bus stop, stay on the racing line. You cannot afford to lose time there because you can lose bunches of it if you do not stay on that racing line. So if you aren't clear to go and make an overtake, don't bother trying to make one. That's the thing. And for Mark Wesley at the moment, well, he's having a good old little bit of a ding-dong here with Radmore and also Phil Giles. So lots of action taking place further back.
Oh, I love that. Phil Giles bringing the old Martini livery back into prominence. And it looks even nicer that it's on a Porsche as well, for good measure. Phil keeps his line ahead through the toe as Wesley tries to close up in on him. Chris Haynes is... I think he's struggling he's going to struggle in the corners with no real aero because of that front bumper on there. It's going to hurt him in the twisty stuff. And Giles goes slim shady round the outside into the heel. Goes all four wheels outside of the white lies, but he's going to pick up the inside line for the next corner. Chris Haynes pretty much powerless to defend against it.
He's got nothing. The problem is for Haynes, he's got to at least go another 5 minutes if he can because he wants to make it to the end. So for Haynes at the moment, even though he's got a pit, he needs to make it as late as possible. I think that's the thing for him.
Yep, and well, Mateus Smolny in the Madworks Porsche. Love the livery on that car. He's coming up through the S's. And Smolny's looking left, looking right. He's going to pull to the outside of Baz Cutting in the Corvette. Has the Porsche got the overspeed? They are literally wheel to wheel going into the inner loop. Smolny is not going to make it, and he nearly gets hit up the back bumper. He goes off the circuit through the second part of the inner loop because who was right with him? Tim Reed. Now let's have a look from the overhead helicam. So he gets a real good run, does Mateus Smolny, alongside Baz Cutting. Goes, here's the inner loop. Goes on the curb, and he does get a biff from behind.
Oh, he got more than a biff, dear sir. He got a good old slap on the rear end there from Reed at the same time, unfortunately for him. Reed had nowhere to go. And
Cutting!
Yeah, just seen him go round.
Baz, what have you done? That's going to be on the loud pedal, isn't it? Here we go. And round goes the Corvette. Oh.
And do you know how harsh that is? Because he just done so well on that defence with Schmolny going up into the bus stop. And it was such a shame that he's just gone and done that. However, for us, that brings him further down the order now, and in fact he's put him right the way down behind these guys, and Mike Walters, Mark Wesley and Haynes all having a battle. Haynes is a little bit of a cork in a bottle, and Schmolny at the moment has just gone and done exactly the same thing as Baz Cutting, got the overtake done because Cutting made a mistake, and then he's going to go and let the Porsche do Porsche things.
Oh, and around he goes, and flat spots those front tyres, I'm afraid. Oh, well, the hits, they keep on coming here at Watkins Glen. Mike Walters and the son of a bro racing number 84 Acura closing in. But then this battle here. Now, this is between Newton and who is that? That's Tim Walters in the good old pink pig livery. Nice to see that one here as well. That's a Porsche favourite. No, it's actually it's the Pikes Peak variation of the Porsche that Ken Block developed. His daughter Leah ended up racing, and then Walters has just had a big old moment going through the inner loop. So it's the Hoonigan Porsche Pink Pig livery, not the traditional Pink Pig livery that we've seen on GT3 and LMDH cars for the Porsche brand. But yeah, Tim Walters bringing a bit of Hoonigan action into Clark St James TRG GT3 racing. So it's nice to see you said about the liveries, we've got some really cool liveries, and that's a nice one to have as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think whenever you reproduce something or bring something out, it's always nice to see, isn't it, at the end of the day? And that's the thing for us to get back and enjoy. And I think more people should get to go with that and enjoy it. Yeah.
Exactly, and the reason why it's got the number 43, that was Ken Block's race number until his sudden passing a couple of years ago. But his daughter Leah, who's now running in F1 Academy under the Williams branding, she's part of their Academy driver squad, which has just had Victor Martin's for Art Grand Prix, running in F2 this year, joined their stable. She actually drove the Porsche Pikes Peak that Hoonigan had developed with Ken up until his passing, but great battle here. We've got Craig Corish closing in on Harry Hartley-Price. Peter the Duke is just in front. Scott Brown is now 6.5 seconds back from Wayne Douglas and Luis Martinez, who are now having a battle. They're 2.5 tenths of a second apart. So the battle for the race lead is clearly on. Martinez has got the fire lit in the belly and the bit squarely between his teeth right now. And look, he's got the high beams on.
Yeah, he definitely has. Martinez putting Douglas under all sorts of pressure. It's taken him a while though to get here. It took him around about 14 minutes to get back into this situation. What is Douglas going to be able to do? That's going to be the question for us. Is Douglas in that Acura going to be able to defend from Martinez? And if he can, how good is he going to be at it?
When you think about it, these two cars are both V6 turbocharged engines. So they're both mid-engined, both rear-wheel drive. So on a parity with regards to handling characteristics, I think they're probably pretty much on an even keel. But the top speed definitely goes to the Ferrari, the prancing horse. That's for sure. Especially when Martinez gets into the toe. Tim Walters has just got past Sean Clark for 12th position, but Matthias Smolny's gone off again and had a slight off track. So the Madworks Porsche has had a problem. Mike Walters has also had a problem. So let's have a look. This is Mike Walters behind Harry Hartley.
He's going to get a hit. No, he's going to get a hit.
Oh, that's Walters going around. And
Bart Wesley giving him a smack, unfortunately for us.
Yeah, so the 84 Acura from the US, he's got to gather it back up again. Craig Corish right in the wheel tracks of Harry Hartley-Price in the battle for P5 overall, and Jordan Love is only half a second behind, and Andy White is a further 1.3 seconds back. So Jarrett Love, the quickest of the Mustangs here at Watkins Glen, and he really is relishing the opportunity of putting himself against the big boys. I mean, he's got an I rating of 1547, so he's on that bubble, but this could be a possibility of showing not just the strength of the Mustang, but also showing the strength of Jared Love as a bona fide driver that could be fighting at the front of the pros maybe next season.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. This is, for a lot of the AMs, it's just a learning curve of where you should be or what you want to be or where you're going to be. You know, and without practice, it isn't going to matter regardless. But Jared Love clearly loved Watkins Glen. We might go to Algarve or one of the other circuits and he might absolutely suck. You don't really know what's going to come out of it because it's like anything. Practice makes perfect. And if you don't practice, well, you can't really argue about the fact that you're at the back.
And one of the good things about this series, James, is that all the drivers have to stay in the same car all the way through the season. Otherwise, a disqualification is brought their way as per the sporting regulations. But yeah, Jarrett Love doing really, really good work behind the leading Mustang. Andy White is now only a second behind Jared at the moment as they go through the S's once again. We're on to lap number 10 with just under 29 minutes to go. And, well, Peter Duke is really starting to hustle Scott Brown quite a lot as they go through into the inner loop. He was 2/10 behind him. And Scott Brown lost out by about just over a tenth and a half on that previous lap. So Duke is now starting to pressurise Brown into saying, right, you need to get out of the way because I've got two rapid Porsches behind me and I've got a Mustang that might be an AM, but he's blooming quick. Duke now needs to get through.
He may need to, but he might not have a choice not to. That's the thing. You cannot sit back and go, well, he needs to get through. Well, yeah, you're right, he does. But, you know, it's kind of tough if you're not getting through there, sir, because he's clearly quick. And that's the thing. He's just got to, well, politely, Alex, suck it up and make the move on the racetrack.
Yeah, and try and work some magic, let's say, on that McLaren, as if to get it out of the way rather sharpish. But you can see now the gap between Martinez and Brown is 8 seconds and climbing as they come out of the final corner. We're on board with the 177 from DC Motorsport. Peter Duke closing in on Scott Brown for that third place, down into third gear, rotate the car through the corner, carry the speed through, and then up to fourth. And you're going to be on the throttle here. Oh, Peter decides to initiate the wipers. Come on, Peter, there's no rain out there, fella. And now we're going up the hill. We're going to be in sixth gear very, very shortly. And you can now see that Peter, well, the thing is, Peter needs to keep in that slipstream a little bit more. If he'd done that a little bit earlier, he might have been possibly having an opportunity to try and get past Scott Brown, maybe coming out of the inner loop, not necessarily going into it, but Harry Hartley-Price now goes, right, you're having a struggle, I'm going to join the party. And then there's Craig Corrish saying, oh, are you having a party? Can anyone join in? Because I'm definitely going to.
That's the thing. As I said, they're bringing people in this battle between them lot. These guys are still going at it further down. Tim Walters, Gareth Newton and Sean Clark are still having a fight. Haynes has finally got in pit lane, but he should be able to get to the end now. He had to get halfway in hindsight before he could go in pit lane, so that's what Haynes has managed to get done, which is great for him because he shouldn't lose any major time. But at the moment, Walters, Newton and Clark are having a nice little ding-dong further down. Clark is obviously listed under a pro, Newton, Walters, Am, and then we've got Connor Pink in second place for all you Connor Pink fans in the YouTube chat. He's sitting in 9th overall at the moment, second in class, so he's doing a great job for Connor. Craig Corrish, however, back on the back end with Hartley-Price and Duke. This is the thing now, Alex. Duke's now under pressure from Price, and as we can see, Brown's kind of escaping just a little bit up the road.
Yeah, by about half a second now as they go up the hill again through out of the 90 and into the S's. So Hartley-Price has got that Porsche firing on all all those 6 cylinders in a box of variation. And he's again pulling to the right-hand side, heading towards the inner loop. He's just trying to force the issue. And that's where things can happen here at Watkins Glen. If someone is putting the pressure on you from behind, you've got to be very, very much on your marks, get set and have eyeballs in the back of your head. And that's exactly what Peter Duke has got to do right now. He's got to chance nothing. He's got to keep it on that racing line. It's only when we get to coming out of turn number 13, going on to that short start-finish stretch, and then when we get through to the 90, that's when some cars, such as the number 10 of Jarrett Love, who is still holding strong in that 7th position, still holding on to that AM class lead. Connor Pink in 2nd in the class is 9th. Dave Collier is up 5 positions and is now 3rd in the AM class, rounding out the overall top 10. Gareth Newton has made up 4 places in his own right. I think there was one driver that I spotted that has made up 8 positions so far overall in this race. I'm not too sure who that was.
Sean Clark.
Sean Clark. So Sean Clark started 21st on the grid and is now battling for the for 12th spot along with Gareth Newton. And Tim Walters has started to pull away. Matthias Smolny is closing in on Sean at the moment. So Sean's got to he's got to have eyes in the back of his head, and he's got to also keep on doing what he does at the minute to keep someone else at bay, as Gareth Newton has decided to dive into pit lane a minute before we hit half time. So Sean Clark gets released, and well, Phil Giles has had 3 pit stops.
No, he's had 1 time stop. The others obviously were involved. He had 1 coming out of pit lane at the beginning, didn't he? I'm not quite sure where it's picked up the second one from. I can safely confirm that he's only been in pit lane once. So I'm not sure where that error has come from or where it accounted. I think it may have accounted the fact that 1, he jumped back to pit lane at the beginning, 2, he was already in pit lane, and 3, he's actually taken his stop. So that's the only way I can decipher that one.
Okay, well put. Gareth Newton out after 18.5 seconds on his pit mark. So moment there for Sean Clark as Matthias Smolny going round the outside. This is at the chute of all places, and Smolny keeps the throttle buried, now going into the toe and diving up the inside. There goes Phil Giles in the Martini Porsche. Phil Giles from stone dead last, well, not last on the grid. Or was he? Yes, he was last
he was in
on
pit
the grid.
lane. I think he came out of pit lane.
He was on pit lane, so he's made up the biggest amount of places. First driver out of the pros at the sharp end of the field. Craig Corish has now dived into the pits with just having hit half time. But comeback drive of the season so far. Phil Giles not making it to the grid. Starts from pit lane and now is motoring forward.
Yeah, he is. He's done a great job, to be fair, for Giles. He doesn't actually have to go. Might be close whether or not he's got to go in again. It might be a quick little splash if there is any of them. But Shmoni's under deep pressure at the moment, going down into turn 1. This should allow Giles, if he can get within that sort of 10.5, which is what he is. He's got to stay there up through the S's though. See the difference in line. Shimoni opened it up, but Giles has opened up the exit from the top of the hill through the S's now, down that back stretch. Giles is going to tuck in. He's not doing anything else. He's going to pull out a draft that he will not make the move into the bus stop.
He definitely was thinking better of it at that point. It was not worth risking it for the biscuit on that particular occasion. Baz Cutting has now jumped into pit lane in the wonderfully liveried 144 Corvette. As Giles closing in on Smolny once again as they go through the chute in towards the boot section. So yeah, Phil Giles putting a really good move on Sean Clark, who unfortunately just a few moments ago made that slight unforced error, and that's the big thing about this circuit here, JP. Going to see Smolny having a...
Look how far Clark is. We're going on the left. That was the problem. Although Smolny get through, Clark ran it in so hard to try and stop him, and then unfortunately he was just all out of sorts. He's over the white line, he's over the curbing. Shmoni says thank you very much, and then you're going to see Giles come and go, well, if you're going to put him off, I'm going to come and give him some as well, and I'm going to slip up behind you on the inside. And that's exactly what Giles did going into the next corner. You can see Clark got hung out there, Shmoni kept him out there, and Giles said, well, if you're going to stay there, son, I'm coming in for a dance, and I'm going to take that position away. And that's what he did.
Yeah, lots of pit stops happening here. Peter Duke, Harry Hartley-Price, Connor Pink, Jarrett Love, Tim Walters, Phil Giles, all in pit lane. as we speak. So pit stops will be anywhere between... Craig Corish was only on his marks for about 15 seconds. So that was a very, very lightning quick pit stop there for the 113 Porsche. Tim Reed, 11.97 seconds on his marks in the pit lane. Quickest pit stop, apart from Joseph. Well, Joseph Lopez is going to have to do another pit stop because he did have damage sustained after he didn't hold his brakes and got sideswiped by Chris Haynes a little bit earlier on. So at the moment, the top 8, all the way down to Adrian Hadfield in the number 5 Porsche, have yet to make their mandatory stop here at Watkins Glen, as Peter Duke rejoins in 9th position, as Wayne Douglas pits from the race lead, releasing Luis Martinez in the 120 Ferrari. So Martinez takes the lead. Brown, I would imagine, is going to go through very shortly. No, Brown dives into pit lane. Andy White, however, will stay out for another lap in the number 1 Mustang. Loving the livery on that HB Racing Mustang there. Bright yellow and nice reflective deep blue stroke purple on that Mustang. He's got the number 97. Just behind him, that's Christopher Haynes, who is pretty much a lap down off of the leaders. So Wayne Douglas is already being serviced at the moment. Scott Brown has just hit the markers in the pit lane. Mateusz Schmolny and Sean Clark have also now just jumped in, so it's only a matter of time. Adrian Hadfield now dives into pit lane. So the only 3 drivers that are going for the very, very long first stint are Luis Martinez, Andy White and Dave Collier. As here we go with Jared Love into pit lane. Looks like there's a little bit of damage to that front right on that car, isn't there?
Yeah, well, whatever it was, he's just got it repaired. My fear is the fact he's had a stop and hold of some sort, because he was in the pit lane about 20 seconds longer than anybody else with a minute 1 time. And I'm just wondering if that was due to the fact that he had some form of unsafe entry, or he's triggered a wall, or he was just late going through pit lane. I do understand what you're saying. Connor did get a better run and has come out in front of Love, but that could have something to do with probably the about 12-second stop or 12-second time game that Connor had over Jared's pit stop. So that was what happened to Jared Love in pit lane. It looks like he's had some form of dramas going in, and he possibly could have hit the wall or having a problem, and the only way we're really going to know that is by going back on his entry and seeing if there was anything in the meantime that he's gone and done.
Oh, now was that Connor Pink's car he just went past in the pit lane?
Yeah, but it shouldn't.
He clattered the wall. Now, what's happened here? He's lost it. He's lost it coming out of turn 13. And the back is just, he's trying to do his Vaughan Gibson Jr. impersonation there.
Yeah, he's gone to go in pit lane and he's tried to get it in there. And unfortunately for Jared, he went in too fast and couldn't carry the speed. He couldn't hold the speed. So as he comes in now, he's thinking, I need to go pit lane, but I'm too fast here. He's got it all wrong. The back end's gone round for Jared Love. And that is what has happened with Jared. That's why he looked like he was doing a 3-point turn the wrong way. He was actually trying to turn it round. So that's why Connor is in front of Jared by 2.4 seconds. Hope that clears up YouTube chat's debate about what happened to Jared Love.
Yep, and there you go. There's your answer. Dave Collier, in the meantime, is in the pits, and that is significant because that car is now on its marks for over 45 seconds. So has Dave Collier had massive dramas in the number 16 Acura? He was running a little bit higher than that, so he's going to tumble down the order quite proverbially. 55.67 seconds in on his marks in the pit lane. That is a pit stop that's going to hurt Dave Collier. That puts him behind Mike Walters. So let's have a look. Let's see what happens with Dave Collier. Is this going to be the same as what we've seen? Oh, I hate to think.
No, but he is very, very rough and rumbled. I wonder if he got some form of penalty then, because that is a massive 1 minute 26 in pit lane.
Ouch.
For Collier. And at 55, that is a stop and hold. That is a penalty. Because everybody else is around 16, 17 and 18. Collier on his marks, 55.67. So we got speeding in the pit lane for Collier, unfortunately for him. Duke has done what he didn't want to happen. He came back out and he's behind Scott Brown again.
But at least he doesn't have to worry about Harry Hartley-Price giving him jip, because Harry Hartley-Price is getting that from Craig Corish. In the meantime, the battle for the AM class lead is closing up. Connor Pink is now only 1.5 seconds ahead of Jarrett Love. So the Mustang is doing its thing. And there behind, Corish was just making the move on Hartley-Price. Up through the S's, he's got through. Enough slipstream up the hill. Corish through on Hartley-Price. That's the change for fifth.
Yeah, it was. And we'll have a quick look. He must have stayed close enough going up through the S's. Oh, you can see Hartley-Price hitting the bit of the curb there, then running himself wide. And then, unfortunately, there's just nothing he's able to do here. Corish is just going to go straight up the inside. It almost looked a little bit too easy. They are both from HB Racing. So I don't want to say we've got Ferrari team orders already.
Or papaya rules.
Or papaya rules or anything along that line, you know. But it looked a little bit sus to me.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Harry's currently P3 in the pro standings. Craig is P4. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is, you got Harry Hartley-Price, Craig Corish, Andy White. They're all part of the HB Racing squad, but Andy is not running around in a Porsche. He's gone with the good old Mustang. So, yeah, I'm not too sure whether there's been a... Yeah, you said it looked quite easy. I think it's just because if you go wide at the top of the hill at the S's, you're going to leave that door so wide open that the other person's going to have no hesitation in taking that 100% to the bank every single day of the week. And that's exactly what Craig Corish did. Tim Reed in the 155 Acura has gone into pit lane again, I believe. He was in the pits for just under 12 seconds last time around. So has there been a drama for Tim Reed in the meantime? We've got 12 minutes and 20 still to go. So that is going to drop Tim Reed down towards the bottom part of the top 10. That's taken him out of the top 10 actually, because Sean Clark now out into 10th position in the pro class. Tim Reed rejoins in 11th, and Baz Cutting is not that far behind him. So, more to the point, well, Louis Martinez, his strategy going a lap longer than Wayne Douglas has played to his advantage. And the gap is now 3.2 seconds. But, warning Connor Pink, Jared Love is right with him. And that battle now is going to heat up quicker than a barbecue on a Sunday afternoon. It is half a second and closing.
Yeah, it is. It's got very, very close. Jared has closed back in after his calamity pit stop. Now what's Connor going to be able to do? Connor has almost got to defend like Frank Bruno against Mike Tyson back in the early days. Actually, unfortunately, Bruno got battered. But, you know, it was a good fight. It was a good fight, briefly. So let's hope Connor lasts longer than Frank Bruno did.
Yeah. And at this point, well, Connor's got to do everything he can to keep a hold of that race lead. Now, the thing is that if Connor wins this race, it puts him level on points with Jared. And they've got 10 minutes and 46 seconds to go. We're now on to lap number 20. Jared is looking rather menacing in that Mustang. So it would put them on 87 points apiece. So, as I said, 45 for a win, 42 for second, 39 for third. And now, this is where the Mustang's territory comes truly into play. Naturally aspirated 5.4 litre V8 versus the Pride of Woking twin turbo 4 litre V8. Jared Love pulls to the outside. Is he going to get the overspeed? I don't think he will on this particular occasion. He slides back in behind Connor Pink and now knows that that could be one of two main opportunities that he might get the jump on the McLaren.
That's the thing. That Mustang has got power for days. The problem is the McLaren's got power in reserve, so the McLaren can actually keep up with that Mustang if he can get just far enough breaking away going up through the S's. So this is going to be a great battle here from Connor. I hope you all are, if you are, cheering for him, holding on, praying, crossing your fingers, your toes, because he's got a 9-minute defense to do from Jared Love, who has looked very quick here at Watkins.
Yep, so coming up to just over 9 minutes to go until we hit the checkered flag to mark the end of the first third of this 6-round calendar. Next week we'll be heading over to the Autodromo do Algarve in Portugal and Portimao, and that is going to be another true test for all of our drivers here this week. And then it will be Mugello, Road America and Le Mans for 90 minutes. And Love looking really, really racing, going down into the 90, down into the dip, into the right-hand camber. They both go a little bit wide. Love looks to be closing that gap. It's under 2/10. Up through the S as we go once again. And Love now really starting to stretch out the legs on that pony car. 10th and closing. He's right on his rear wing. Goes towards the outside. Is this the opportunity that Jared Love needs to take the lead of the AM class? Not quite.
Oh.
But that was so close. So close. Jared Love had to back out of it within the last thousandths of a second. And that gap went from a 10th to 6th within the blink of an at's eye.
Yeah, but watch this. He's going to come back at him again. That looks like Love's favourite place to have a go. Running up through the S's. Pink's got to do what he continues to do and make sure that he can stay in front there. And this is the thing. He's got to just come off the S's, go right. And he needs to go right. He wants to give him a little bit of a gap, and but don't let him take that inside line, because if he's on that inside line, he will just bully him off. So Connor's got to come out through the messes. He's got to come up for like an absolute rocket, and he's got to go straight right, hold that line, and basically make Love try and go around the outside of him. If he can make Love go around the outside, it's going to be very, very interesting as well. But we're going to find out. Again, he's on the defense. He's hugging the wall. Louis Martinez is in YouTube chat saying, what a save. So whatever he did, he's obviously managed to type it in YouTube chat at the same time. But this is the moment for Pink. He's got to come out. He's come out of that last corner fine at the moment. He's got Love closing in. He's 4 tenths. This is where he's got to come straight out of the S's, straight over to the right. Don't give him the run. He cannot afford to give him any form of gap whatsoever. There you go. Little bit of defense. Love's a little bit too far back. Hit your marks. Get through this chicane and come out and live to fight another day.
Yeah, well, Louis Martinez's lead, it was at 1.3.5 seconds. It was near very shortly, not that long ago, 2.3 seconds. Now look at Jared Love and Teresa Pink going, come on, Connor, where's that pink right foot? As in say, go on, bury the hatchet. Get away from him. Just scarper, do what you can. But that's the thing. And now, oh no! Jared Love looked up at the inside of the toe, and the pair made contact at that particular point. Well, I'm sorry, that Jared Love, that was a bridge too far. You're gonna see that he's gonna literally lick the stamp and send it. Dive to the inside, literally diagonal cross. There's the contact, right hand door of Connor Pink, and Jared Love also goes for a spin, but more to the point, that was not really going to be on. I think if Jared was a little bit closer and made that move a little bit more, not so desperate, let's say. And yeah, I have to say it is in agreement with Sim Racing Cares. That was a terrible dive. Yeah, I have to agree with that one. He should have waited. He knew where he could overtake Connor Pink, and that has really curtailed the battle in the AM class. But stranger things have happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, but That was absolutely rough. He come in like a Concorde with no brakes at that moment in time. He just skyrocketed straight into the side of him. He had a go, but it just was, he was way too far back. I don't know, the thing is, we're saying this, that he tried to dive him and Kez and everybody else, you know, it looked like he did, but it also did look like he wasn't. I don't know if he was expecting Connor to brake so early, so he kind of just misjudged the braking point. I don't really know. I'm trying to paint this in a silver lining, Alex, and to be honest, I'm not really quite sure I can. It's like trying to make a cake out of a muffin and feed 500 people. It ain't going to happen.
I think if you want a WWE reference, it's a bit like when John Cena went heel against Cody Rhodes at Royal Rumble. That's what it reminds me of, to use a wrestling vernacular, a recent one.
Well, at least you know that Alex watches WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
So there we go. But I think at the end of the day, he came back from, you know, the back end of it, and he really got it wrong. Really got it wrong.
But the thing was, the gap went up to 2 seconds, and that Mustang is still breathing on all 8 cylinders. He's got that gap down to 1.2. So we've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So looking at the lap times, I think we might be at a push. Maybe when we get this one, it'll be 1 and 1 more to go, because Luis Martinez is 3.6 seconds ahead of Wayne Douglas. That was very wide coming out of the 90 there, Jared Love. Like, literally just carries so much momentum through, but he's doing everything he can. He's trying to get that gap down, and that gap has come back down again to 7.5 tenths. So there's damage on the right front for Jared. I'm wondering if there's damage to that right side barge of the McLaren of Connor Pink after that incident, because there will be some damage. So that's probably why the Mustang is now finding it a little bit easier to close that gap. So I did say, expect the unexpected. Connor Pink and Jared Love, ding ding, seconds out, round 2.
Yeah, and the worst thing is as well, is they're only going to have 1 and 1 more to go here. There's 2 more laps for Pink to hold on to, 2 more laps to Corish to hold on from Hartley Price. But again, it did look like Hartley Price let him go. And we've got 3 HB Racing boys. If they actually do anything, I would be very, very shocked altogether, to be honest, because, you know, first rule of racing, don't take out your teammate. So let's hope that they don't do that. But Connor, Jared, Shmoney and Giles are going to have a nice little tidy ding-dong for this and 1 more. And for the final lap, we're going to find out who's going to come out on top. You know what I mean? I don't know. If you're going to put your money on anybody, well, I wouldn't put it on anyone, to be honest. This is way too much for me.
I would give myself the splinters in the bum and sit on the fence on that one, to be completely honest with you. But the good thing is...
Oh, he's going to come back in. Oh, he ain't covering him off. He didn't cover him. Pink got him.
This is going to be close, going up the S's again. Here with this and 1 more lap to go. Connor Pink still holds on. And now it's a 4-car trade down the backstretch in towards the inner loop. And look, they're all starting to dodge and weave. Smolny's going to try and dive up the inside of Jarrett Love. He nearly went into the right-hand side of him.
Yeah, Pink needs this, Alex. Sorry, but Pink needs Love to be under pressure from Smolny, because if he isn't under pressure, it frees him to close him down. Smolny's not crazy, he's not stupid, but he needs to get on Love to give Pink a break. That's the only way he's going to be able to do this, because I think if Love can... He almost got him. If Pink wasn't brave enough to go and do what he did, he would have lost that straight away. Martinez, the leader's on his way down the back straight through the bus stop. So these guys have still got 1 more lap to go, because at the end of the day, well, it's going to be interesting. It was Digger. Yes, it wasn't a...
Giles has just got through on Smolny. Love to the outside of Pink, through at turn number 12. And then, look at where... Oh, no! Phil Giles and Smolny into the barrier!
Oh, Smolny's gone round. He went round off Giles. Giles got loose first. Porsche doing Porsche things into Schmolny, T-bones him
Bang.
into the barrier. But what's going on with Love and Pink? They're almost running side by side coming out of turn one, up through the S's again. Martinez is on his way through the final couple of corners. He's down at the hill at the moment. But we'll keep an eye out on what Love's going to be able to do, because this is final. If he can hold him here, he might be able to hold him for the rest of the lap. But this is where you've got to be big and brave. Squeeze them against the right-hand line if you can all the way through. Pressurize in, keep your nose in, slow it up a little bit on the exit. Now go out and try and get that run through the long outer loop here, Alex. This is going to be a cracking final lap with these guys, but Martinez coming over the line.
It's 2 for 2 for the Spaniard, winner at Red Bull Ring, and now the winner here at Watkins Glen. It's Spain's Luis Martinez that takes the win by nearly 2 seconds, but it's the AM class battle that we really need to keep an eye on. And Jared Love has made it through on Connor Pink. Jared Love has made it through on Connor Pink. That happened whilst we were bringing the leader across the line, but Jared Love is going to be taking a second win on the road. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen post-race, but there could be some very, very big ramifications for possibly Jared Love after his dive bomb earlier on in the race. But even he's looking a little bit twitchy. The back end of that Mustang starting to step on out. Martinez takes the win overall. Douglas in second, Brown third, Duke, Hartley Price, Corish and White. And out of the final corner on the road, it's going to be Jarrett Love, the man from Scotland, as Connor Pink tags the wall, coming out of the final corner on lap 26. And this is the moment where it happened. They came out of the outer loop and it was on the run down to the chute. Love looks to the outside. He sent him the dummy. He sent him the dummy.
Oh, he dummied him going in. And that was it. Love fell for it. Pink fell for it as well. It was this faintest little dummy that he did hit. And you would just catch it. You watch, Love thinks he's done. He thinks he's gone on defense. Love's come to cover him off. Jared has just gone, thank you very much. And Pink's just sat there holding his tail. He's got nothing to do. He brakes early. He didn't brake and shut the door off. Love says thank you very much. But he dummied him out of that one, unfortunately for him. And he just roared on his way. But he just got dummied by, well, a stunning move, to be honest.
Jared Love channeling his inner Nigel Mansell on that one, and took the win on the road ahead of Connor Pink. There are your provisional race results. 2 for 2 for the Spanish Matador, Luis Martinez for XPD Racing, winning after 26 laps by just under 1.9 seconds ahead of Wayne Douglas, who put it on pole. Scott Brown rounds out your top three ahead of Peter Duke, Harry Hartley-Price, Craig Corish and Andy White rounding out your top 7 overall, and a top 7 meritocracy for the pro class. Jarrett Love with a dive bomb, then a dummy. Double D there, we shall say, for Jared Love on that particular occasion. Got the job done with 1 lap to go through in towards the chute. He got the job done on Connor Pink. Tim Walters ran out your top 3 in the AM classification. Tim Reed, Gareth Newton, Sean Clark, Adrian Hadfield, Christopher Radmore, Dave Collier, Phil Giles could have had the comeback race of the season on that one. He finishes down in 17th position ahead of Baz Cutting, Mike Walters, Joseph Lopez, Matthias Schmalny, Mark Wesley and Chris Haynes, who round out your 23 strong grid. My goodness me. AM drama battling right up until the final lap, and this is the moment where it happened. We're going to bring in our 2 drivers from the AM class that we're just seeing battling on the screen, coming out of the outer loop, and it's the run down to the chute that is very, very important, because it means that Jarrett Love got a little bit of additional slipstream from Connor Pink. He switches to the right, then Connor goes to cover. Jared instantly sees a big gaping hole on the inside. You can see both of them starting to brake at pretty much the same time, and Jared Love getting through by the narrowest of margins after what we saw just a few laps ago when these two were battling. And it was round about the same place that the accident happened with the dive bomb as well, if I remember correctly.
It was. Unfortunately, I can't move Connor, Alex.
Well, you know what? Let's.
Can you move him?
let me see if I can move in 2 seconds. Let's just see if we can bring Connor in. So give me 2 seconds. I'll just try. Let's bring him in. Connor Pink joins us. Connor, that was, I think, one of the most... how can I say it? One of the most action-packed battles we've seen for an AM class victory in Clarkson James TRG racing history. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, Jared's a good guy, man. I just speaking to him in the other room. He apologised for the dive bomb. He thought I took a wider line and then cut back in. I'm not easy to pass when I'm in front of you, even if you are quicker. So yeah, I don't make it easy for you.
Yeah, I mean, you damn well sure didn't make it easy for him. I mean, I think that's one of the things that we like about it. The fact that you and Jared have had a post-race discussion, you've talked it out. He's apologised. He saw the error of his ways, and you guys move on from it. You look forward to the next race, but still, you guys are literally intertwined at the rear wing, I think I'd like to say, using a GT3 sports car vernacular, because you're both really, really quick. You both have shown great prowess over the first 2 races. That was a great battle, wasn't it, between the pair of you?
Oh yeah, I love battling like that. It was good. I knew when he spun at the pits that this was going to be a battle to the end. I knew he was a good second quicker than me in general. I just had to throw everything at the car and hope it stuck. And sadly, that last little dummy caught me out. If I'd have turned in there, we'd have both been in the wall. We'd have been at the back. So it's the way it is.
I did say that Jared actually channeled his inner Nigel Mansell to throw that dummy up the inside of you at the chute on the last lap, which you know. But I mean, it was actually that just goes when you're doing a 45-minute race with a pit stop. People say that sim racing is just a game. It isn't a game because everyone's knackered, everyone's mentally and physically exhausted, and the biggest first sigh of relief is when you pass that finish line and see the checkered.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I was shaking for the whole last 3 laps, seeing him keep gaining on me, and then into the bus stop, he was side by side, didn't want to outbrake me, and then I was just licking the stamp and sending it. I'm afraid, hoping it stuck, and then he just caught up again. It's just it's one of those things. I really enjoyed it. Good battle. He's apologised for the dive bomb. I mean. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't even expecting him to dive up the inside there. I took a tighter line, and then all of a sudden there was a Mustang on my inside. Luckily, he went nose into the wall, and I was able to get back out again. But yeah, it's just the way things go.
Exactly. But next week we go to the halfway point of season 6. We head to the Algarve. Is that one of your preferred circuits in this car?
No, I do not like Algarve at all. I did a couple of practice laps on it before, and we are not getting along. We have a bit of a love-hate relationship, so we'll see how it goes next week. But I really enjoyed Watkins, Glen. I enjoyed that battle with Jared. So yeah, to next week. Let's see how we go.
Brilliant, Connor. Thanks so much for talking to us after the race. Anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Oh yeah, thank everybody in the chat. I see quite a few guys in the chat, and my mum in the chat as well, and my missus. So yeah, big shout out to them, and yeah. He too it was.
Brilliant. Connor, thanks so much for talking to us. We'll see you next week for round 3 at the Portimao. Okay?
Yeah, cheers, Alex.
Well, a big thanks there to Connor Pink. Let's have a chat with the man who had a battle of the ages in the AM class. Jared Love joins us. Jared, we're just having a quick chat with Connor. That was a battle for the ages for the AM class win here at Watkins Glen. Wouldn't you agree?
No, it was a good battle. I've held my hands up. I've watched the replay back. The one when we had proper contact was a horrific move on my part. He was doing so well defending me. I definitely felt like I was a lot quicker than he was. I had a bit of an oopsie going at the pits and lost about 15 seconds to him and came out behind him. But I think the 2 laps before he defended it really hard on the inside and he'd taken a wider exit. So I told myself in my mind, right, I'm going to go for the move here, albeit I shouldn't have because he'd taken a narrower line. But I'd kind of committed to it by the time I tried to back out. And yeah, neither of us were damaged the cars, and I let him get going again before I started driving off just to sort of let him hold the place. And
that was me thinking, Jared. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. You missed your breaking point.
No. I'll hold my hands up when I have an oopsie. That was totally on me. I just thought there was more space than there was. I forgot the Mustang was as big as it was. We'll put it that way.
Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah. But well, it's. I mean, obviously, I did say you were channeling you in a Nigel Mansell. I think it was more like William Wallace on that dummy that you did on him. That was absolutely spectacular. You teed it up nicely. That you. All it took was that one respective moment where you thought, right, okay, now I've got him, because after that contact, you were 2 seconds behind Connor. And by the time, even with a little bit of damage on the front of the Mustang, with that impact, that car has shown incredible pace around here at Watkins Glen. It really plays the Mustang's strength, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It gets us good up the hill, just certainly in the toe as well. It's a good car in the straights, and I did feel quite nimble through the sort of chicanes as well. It didn't feel too bad at all. I got quite a good run the last lap on Connor, and I hadn't really done much when I had a good run in the sort of 5 to 10 laps before that, and I thought, you know what, there's a wee gap. He wasn't quite as tight as he was, and the gap was there, and I had to go for it. It was the last lap, and yeah, fortunately, space was there. I hit my braking point fine, and we both got round the corner okay.
Well, of course, next week we go to Portimao. Connor's admitted that it's a love-hate relationship with that circuit. What about for yourself?
I have never driven Portimao. I purchased it yesterday, so we'll find out.
Well, that puts you 2 for 2 this season so far, heading into round 3. Well done on the win tonight, Jared, despite the dive bomb and then also the fantastic dummy. But is there anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, I'm just glad I don't know if you've caught the spin going at the pits as well. So I'm glad if you haven't caught it.
No, we did.
We did. We wondered what was going on.
Yeah, sorry, sir. I even rewind it just to make sure that I caught it properly.
Wonderful. Well, shout out to you guys for I'll go back and watch it and have a good laugh at myself for that complete cock up, if you don't mind my French. But yeah, shout out to the missus. She's in bed now, but she helps me out on Monday nights in terms of if the kids aren't behaving. She babysits them while I do a wee race. So shout out to the wife.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Jared. We'll see you next week in Portimao for round 3.
All right. Cheers, guys. See you later.
Take care.
Right, big thank you there to Jared Love, our AM class winner. Of course, Louis Martinez, Wayne Douglas, and Scott Brown rounded out your top 3. Tim Walters rounded out the top 3 in AM. JP, I mean, what can I say? Watkins Glen. It brought another cracking race, some great battles up and down the order, but the AM class battle is definitely one of the highlights of season 6 so far.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an absolutely stunning fight from Connor Pink and Jared Love there. It happened, as he said, he came together, he let him pull away again, and then they caught back up at each other. So there's some great, racing from both of them, and I think it's going to be an impressive season from both of them guys. I'll be interested to see how they swap backwards and forwards. But I can tell you now as well, if you are interested in some great racing, there is some SR8s going on at the same time as this week who are racing at Monza Historic Combined Circuit. So there is the Oval taking place as well.
Yeah, and that's not all. We've also got BSC Spring at Martinsville Speedway, round 7. That's going to be on the 2nd of April. We've got the J2 ICS Endurance Series, round 4 at Road Atlanta. We've got Radical Race Series. We've got IGP Fun. There's so much to watch here on the JP Broadcasting Network. So if you haven't already, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. And what's more, that's it from us here. So you've joined myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and James Parfitt on what has been a JP Broadcasting production. Well, if in doubt, race hard, race fair. And if you need to, go flat out. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Good night for now.
Thank you.